Hi there. I am going to keep going on my, I was calling it a butterfly quilt, but now it's butterflies, flowers, and now ladybugs. I don't know if you can quite see. Let me take you off and show you. Here's the ladybugs that I've been working on. They are detached and from each other, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So today I'm going to show you this little ladybug tutorial. This is an improv ladybug, so no paper piecing, no measured piece cutting. They are really fun, and I think they turned out really, really cute. I thought I would waste some fabric trying to get this figured out, but I didn't. I actually got the very first one right. So I did sort of use a guide of a pattern that someone else has, so I will show you that in a minute. But I'm trying to decide where to go from here. I'm struggling because I wanted to do this like dark purple, and then I wanted to go out towards some light purples at the top, so it's like a gradient. But I don't like the harsh line between this and that. I'm also feeling like the ladybugs, there's too much like white space around them, whereas all my flowers are pretty close together, and this is all very piecey looking. So I might try to squeeze in another ladybug here. And then on this end, she really wants me to make a praying mantis. She's drawn out how it could work, and maybe it could, but I just don't know if I can do it. So today I'm going to focus on showing you this tutorial. And then I want to make some what are called Greek keys for in between here. And that might sort of help with the segue from the charcoal to the dark purple. We shall see. If you're enjoying this series, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel because that really helps me out. It helps YouTube push the video to more people. Yeah, let's just get started. Okay, this ladybug is made in 3 different parts. We have the body, the head, and then the antenna, and then it's kind of framed out. I did not frame it on this end because they're going to be end to end. So let me show you what my inspiration was. I think I've shown you this book before. This is by Liza Taylor. You can find her at Liza Taylor Handmade. I think she's here on YouTube also. And she had this block in here, but hers is paper pieced, and I wanted mine to be improv. So you can see though that I did steal this shape. This is not necessarily from my own brain from start to finish. So I will link you to this book. It's pretty fun. There's a lot of great things in here, and you can make a beautiful quilt if you're into paper piecing. Okay, so I'm going to choose a dotty fabric. I'm going to pick this one. I'm just going to cut a 5-inch square for this one to keep it simple. You can make a big ladybug, turn it into a pillow if you want. You can make a small, tiny ladybug, whatever size, but for mine, I'm just going to make this 5 inches. And then we need to create the illusion of roundness by making this into what would be called a snowball block. So you want to grab some pieces. Let me see if I can cut up some of these. You can use squares or triangles. See if I can make this work. And we're just going to put a corner on each of these corners like this. And so then you're just going to sew it this direction, and then when you flip it, you can trim it down to match your square. So that is the first step, and we're going to make this sort of look round by just putting background corners on it. Okay, here's what my piece looks like now. They're all sewn on. I'm just going to go press them out towards the corners. I'm not going to bother trimming these because it makes it easier to square it all up if I just leave it. I should say, when you're adding these corners on, see how mine hang over? It's important to have some overhang, and it's important to make sure that your triangle is big enough to actually cover your corner when you flip it back this way. Okay, so now I have this. I can just flip it and trim. Trim it back into a square. Now you can sort of decide which direction you want your ladybug to go. I think that looks cute. And then we're going to cut it in half. And now I need to choose another fabric. I really like this one. And I'm going to cut this part off and save it for the head. I'm going to leave this part scrappy. And now my wings are, I almost called them petals. My wings are going to go like this. So I'm going to sort of lay them out like that, move this one, and just flip this one and stitch it onto this middle piece as is. You can trim it off first if you want to, but I'm just going to go sew it on like this. Okay, so now I have this. I can trim it and go press it outwards. So far, so good. Okay, now I need to sew my other wing on. I don't like to leave this part too big. I found that when I did that, I had to trim too much off to make this straight and it kind of looked funny. So just about inch maybe. Flip this over. I like them to overlap just a tad at the top. Well, maybe this one I won't because there will be seam allowance. No, I am going to. I'm going to overlap them up there about 1/4 inch. And now I'm just going to go sew this piece on. And trim. Okay, so this is what we have now. And now we need to make straight lines on the top and the bottom because you can't sew straight pieces onto crooked lines, right? So I'm just going to straighten. And then down here, I need to go from this corner to this corner and straighten. So my body piece is complete. Very cute so far. Next, I'm going to make the head piece. So we'll set this aside. I'm just going to willy-nilly cut a rectangle. That looks cute. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sew small pieces onto these corners to round it out. Let me use this piece. So I'm going to sew one here and flip, and I'm going to sew one here and flip. All right, now I can trim this up. And here is my head piece. On some of my ladybugs, this was very, like if your triangles are smaller over here, then let me show you. So on this one, I rounded them out a little bit less, and so my head is completely on the body, like there's more of a flat part here. And then for other ones like this, the head is sort of sitting outside of the body because it's not, these triangles were bigger and it's not as much flat space here. So I have a huge variety. This is what I love about them, is that they're all different. This one is going to have head mostly off the body. Okay, let me choose a antenna fabric real quick. Okay, so for my antennas, whenever I'm trying to make skinny strips, I cut my pieces 3/4 of an inch. I feel like for me, that is the perfect width of the strips that I want. So I'm going to cut 2 antennas because that means they end up being 1/4 inch when they're sewn in there. Oh, I forgot a part of this. I have to frame out the head so it's, whatchamacallit, you know. Okay, so I'm just going to cut pieces to go on each side of the head. Okay, and now to trim. Somebody just sent me, one of you sent me this ruler and a Kentucky Quilts book. Your thank you note is coming. Thank you so much. I really like this. It's like, I thought this was like one of those peel off stickers on the back, but it's not. And so it makes the ruler not slidey. I really like it. It's from quiltersselect.com. Thank you, thank you. Okay, before I trim the sides, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this on to the body. Okay, now I'm going to trim this to mimic the angle of the body section. All right, so here are my antenna pieces. They're gonna go kind of like this. When I do things like this, I'm going to cut a much bigger piece than I think I need because it always, especially when there's angles involved, it can be really hard to get it right. So I'm gonna cut like this. And now I'm going to place one antenna on the fabric how I want it. And I'm going to cut alongside of it, flip it over here and sew it. Okay, so now I have this. I'm going to go ahead and finger press that open for now. And I'm gonna sew it also onto this other piece, because this is the same direction already. Okay, I press that flat. Now I'm going to see where I want my second antenna. I like them to overlap a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to cut this side first and just sew this on. And then come back and sew my remaining piece onto the other side. Okay, here's my finished antennas. Antennae? I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm gonna make that flat, and then I'm gonna, because these are flappy, you know, so I'm gonna make this flat also. And then I'm going to center this onto the top of my head, making sure it's actually on that little piece. Okay, and then I can go sew these together. Now I pressed my seam toward the head, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. Now I can trim this up also to match this angle. And all I have left now is to frame it. So first I'm going to frame the sides. Where's my strip? I said this before, but whenever I'm doing improv and I have a background fabric, I like to cut strips off of my yardage just to make it easier to use. So I have some already ready strips. I'm just going to sew one onto either side like so. Okay, so it's important to have some overhang because you see how the angle makes it so there's not very much on this side. I'm making my block small enough to where I'll be fine, but if you were going to put this on a bigger piece, then you would have need to make this longer so that this corner is even with this one, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for now though. I'm gonna trim this side and then I will put the top on. Okay, so now I can trim this. I've been making these blocks 7.5 this way and whatever length they want to be that way. It's not important since I'm sewing them end to end in that direction. I know my borders are excessively big, but they do all get used, all those pieces. So here's my next ladybug. Now I need to sort of figure out, I need to problem solve. I think though that I'm going to go ahead and make these Greek keys, or at least some of them that I want to put upside down in between the butterflies and the ladybugs, and that might help enough to break it up. But I'm still thinking that my ladybugs, I just want them to be closer together, or I want to change the direction of some of them. And I will try to make a praying mantis, but I don't know if I can. I just think it might look weird. But I know Layla really wants it. I should have said no. We'll see. Let's see what I can do. Let's try to make a praying mantis. Okay, before I try to make a mantis, I went ahead and like moved the ladybugs around and like rotated them. And I already like this a lot better. I don't think I'll do the upside down one. I think I'll flip him. But because they're closer together and there's not so much blank purple space in between, I just think it's better. And I think that Layla will agree with me, but I will ask her later when she gets home. This does mean I'll have to make more because whatever I do up here, I also have to do down here because this is like a symmetry quilt. So let me sort of back up. So I will have to make more ladybugs, but that's okay. It's worth it. I do it for the art, right? Okay, I ran out of time yesterday to work on this, but I went upstairs totally rejuvenated for this project last night after I changed the orientation of the ladybugs. And so I think this is a lesson for me and maybe for you. Sometimes you have to go with your gut. And sometimes if you're sewing for someone else, like you have an artistic vision, right? And Layla's an artist, so she also has an artistic vision. But ultimately, I think that she will agree with me that this is better. So I can maybe do a praying mantis on the back, or I can make her a pillow of one. I don't know. Maybe she'll just let it go. Layla, I know you're watching because you're editing, so I'm sorry about your praying mantis. But in the end, I think I had to do what made me feel excited again about this, because when the ladybugs were lined up like that, I just was not feeling excited. I didn't like how it looked. So what I'm going to do, also, this does mean that this is going to now take me more time. So I thought that I was maybe in the home stretch, but now that I've turned the ladybugs and put them closer together, there's more per row. So there was only 5, now there's going to be 8. So I'm going to have to make 8 more for the row down here, which I feel fine with. And because sometimes we get in this trap thinking that quilting should be fast and that all of our projects should be fast. Sometimes, I would argue, much of the time, things can be slow. Let things be slower. This is something I'm really working on in my own life, is taking time for things. Like, I have time to take care of myself. I have time to make this quilt perfect. I mean, not perfect. No quilt is perfect. But I have time to make it how I would really want to make it. I don't need to be rushing on to the next project. So I'm going to make one more ladybug and then sew these into a row. And then I'm going to work on my idea for a row in between these 2 rows. So yeah, here I go. Okay, a tip I have when you're sewing in rows like this and your pieces are all different sizes is to leave extra on the ends so that you can trim the entire row to size. You can always add also, like if this ends up being too small, just take it off and put a bigger piece on there. I need my entire row to measure 56.5 inches. So I like to fold it in half, and half of that measurement is 28.25. Alrighty, let's go try it on and see. Love it. Alright, I need a quick cleanup before I move on to the next part. Okay, these are my ladybug parts. I'm going to put those over here because I need to make more of those. Oh, I just found more mess. Oh yeah, I cut all these squares in an experiment. Hopefully they get used. Okay, my idea for the in-between. I can't decide actually. I have two ideas. I could do these Greek keys, which I think are very cool. They look a little snaily. Or I can do something like this. I also liked this kite shape. Maybe I should do those. Because, okay, let me turn you around and show you the quilt. Okay, I really, really love how I put the grass, the green rows in between, because do you see how it really breaks up the rows? I need to do something similar in between the butterflies and ladybugs. I think, now that I'm looking at it through a screen, I think the reason it works is because they're all green and they read much lighter than the rest of the blocks. So I think I need to go with another color scheme and make sure that there is contrast between the butterflies and ladybugs and whatever it is I decide to do in here. So let me just brainstorm for a minute, play with some things and see what I come up with, and I'll be back. Okay, Layla came home. We brainstormed. First, she loves the new arrangement of ladybugs. She is still has her heart set on a mantis, but I think I'm going to put one on the back, and she accepted that. I was like, can I just find a fabric with a mantis on it and stick that in there somewhere? She goes, no, because I like the way you make the bugs. So I will be trying to make a mantis still, but I don't have to do it right now. Okay, so then we were trying to figure out this. She didn't necessarily want more grass. And so we tried on some different fabrics in here, and we really like how this color looks. And then she said, what about a vine with leaves, kind of like I did on the flower garden quilt, also for Layla. So we can pop a picture of that in here so you can see what I mean. And so I'm going to do an applique vine here with leaves that sort of start at the vine and they can overlap to either of the rows, which will be very cool. And that will sort of mimic some of the curviness from down here, which will also be cool. I'm hoping that it's not too weird to do applique just in this one part, but maybe I could also, I have an idea for some applique on the top and bottom rows, so that could tie it in also. And yeah, so that's where we're going with this next, but right now I have to wrap up this video because Layla needs to edit it. So this has been really fun. I hope you're inspired to try some ladybugs. This would be so cute on a pillow or a book sleeve or a notebook cover, something like that. Maybe as the pocket on a backpack or something. I think this is a really like cute kid-friendly idea. So are the butterflies and flowers, but I especially think the ladybugs. So cute. So if you make some, let me know. Oh, also shameless plug, if you are interested in learning more about this improv style of quilting things, I have 3 quilting booklets you can buy from my Etsy shop, and I will link you to them in the description below. One is for curves, one is for houses, and one is for turning any traditional quilt block into a wonky block instead. So hop over and check those out if you're interested, and I will see you soon. Bye.